Hi, everyone. I'm Danny with Social Ladder. Thanks for being here with me today. On today's episode, we have Natalie Mehra, strategic consultant for Social Ladder. Natalie, it's great to have you on this episode today.
Hey, Danny, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Natalie, I had a couple questions for our viewers around the creator economy and in general. So the creator economy is really growing. In your experience, why do you think the primary reason brands are really adopting creators as a primary driver of growth?
Mhm. So, consumers today really want authenticity from brands. They're constantly fed with ads, and their feeds are really saturated with pretty graphics and photography. It all starts to just blend together over time. So, when a customer sees an everyday person or an influencer that they follow and they've established that trust with, promoting your brand, it really gives credibility.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes total sense. There are so many types of creators fitting different use cases for brands and driving awareness, conversions, and revenues. What are some of the key differences that you've seen between influencers, affiliates, and brand ambassadors? What should brands consider when determining the type of creator program to achieve their long-term goals?
Well, there's a lot here, first of all. And this entire industry really has become very complex. So I'm glad you asked this. So I'm going to start with influencer because I feel like that's the word that's thrown around the most and very loosely used for this whole category. So really what an influencer is, it's a pay to post, more transactional relationship. You can get very high quality content, and it has the potential to really drive sales or new users to your brand. But with that comes a very high price tag, or can at least. Next, I'll go into a brand ambassador, which is really has evolved a ton over the past 2 years. And they really are used for longer term relationships. And a lot of times they're already fans of your brand. Sometimes what I like to say is some are already fans of your brand and some will be fans of your brand. They just don't know it yet. And they generally have a lower social media following than influencers and therefore have a lower price tag on it, which really can give you a great ROI for an ambassador program. Lastly, ambassadors can be used to generate content, but can also support many other channels of your company. The last one that I'll talk about here is affiliates. And the reason I wanted to talk about it last is because I actually feel like it really complements both influencers and ambassadors, and can be used in its own, but can also be integrated into both of those channels as well. So affiliates are highly scalable and can be offered to pretty much anyone who wants to promote your brand and gives them an incentive to do so by giving them a kickback. So with that, really anyone can join, and there's very little personal connection or interaction from your brand. So all that to be said, I guess the second part of your question was, how do you choose what's right for your brand? So I really take a step back and think about what are your goals as a company. Is it to increase your social media presence? Is it to generate content? Is it to create community or drive sales? And from there, you can really choose which type of platform you think will best serve this need. My personal suggestion is actually a combination of a couple of these things because they work really great layered to hit different goals for your company.
Awesome. Yeah, that's very insightful. As a head of marketing at Social Ladder, and in speaking to a number of marketing leaders, one of the biggest challenges I see for marketers is getting the right piece of content to the right audience at the right time. How can brands utilize user-generated content from brand ambassadors and influencers to address that challenge?
It's very tricky. Great question. But creators really can be helpful in generating meaningful content and sharing it on their personal channels. But on the flip side of that, as long as your contract allows for it, You can repurpose this content on any of your channels. You can even use it for ads, and really target whoever you're looking to speak to. Video content is really, I think, where the future of content is going. So I would really encourage your creators to be producing video content that can be used on as TikToks, Reels, and even on YouTube. We're seeing a lot of that longer format content coming from creators and can be segmented, pieced, and repurposed in so many different ways.
That's awesome. What are some of the common pitfalls that you've seen brands in starting an ambassador program? What advice would you give them?
Absolutely. So for an ambassador program specifically, at this point in time, most brands are aware that ambassador programs work, and they see other companies doing it and they know that they should do it. So the first thing I see companies normally do is jump to Instagram and start messaging people to become ambassadors. So really, I want to take everyone a couple steps back there and think about an ambassador program really is almost a mini company within your company, because you are dealing with real people and you really have to think through a business plan for this program, because you're dealing with finances, you're dealing with data and analytics, you're dealing with your HR because you're hiring, managing people. And before you even get to the marketing, right, or get to the content, there's so many other elements that you need to think through first. So that's what I work on with a lot of the brands, is they kind of jumped to that, let me message people first. And I come in and I say, okay, let's take a few steps back, and let's really map out our process for what we're trying to do here.
So that's great. It seems like a phased approach, right? You have, phase one, phase two, phase three, and it kind of just, goes together. So I definitely appreciate the insights, Natalie. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I would like to thank Natalie for her time and joining me in this vlog. And for more information on Social Ladder and how we can help your ambassador goals, please visit us at www.socialadderapp.com. Thanks.
Thanks, Danny.